In this video, we're going to be going over the parts of the Build Your Own Kaleidoscope kit and give you some tips on how to actually put that kit together. So first things first, let's actually look at what a finished version of the kaleidoscope might look like. So this one is all painted and decorated. It has an engraved image on it. That is an option. So there's a couple different image styles you can select from if you'd like me to engrave that. Otherwise, you'll be sent blank Baltic birch pieces to assemble your kaleidoscope. Now this is a wheel style kaleidoscope. I think it's one of the easiest to build. It also has a lot of area for image disc. So it's a really fun, transformative looking design when you're looking through your scope end. So you will receive all the parts in order to build a kaleidoscope just like this, as well as the stand. So the stand, you can see I've just painted it. It's again Baltic birch, glued together, very, very simple. So for this style of kaleidoscope, you can see that it has a Chicago binding screw on the end, and then you can just slide your image disc on and off. Now I'll make sure that this length matches up with the thickness of the image disc you're sent, so don't worry about that. You'll either get a spacer or I'll use a shorter length. And then inside you're going to have a 3-mirror system, and it's also including some lenses as well. So in this case, you can kind of see how the construction works. These are tabbed panels, and then there's slotted rings on both sides, and then you glue a decorative faceplate over top on this side. So let's scoot that out of the way, and then I'm going to show you what comes in your kit. So when you receive your kit, you will unpack a variety of materials that look like this. So first thing you might notice is we have our stand here. This is all Baltic birch. It's also covered in paper masking, so the char there, you'll be able to peel that off. I've done that so that it won't get scratched up in shipping. So you have your base plate, you have your 2 tabbed stand pieces, and I definitely recommend gluing those in, just so that they'll be a little bit more secure from the side to side. And then finally, you have a little base plate that you can glue over this bottom piece just to hide these tabs, and that's optional there. So in addition to the stand, let's take a look really quickly at the slats that are part of your kaleidoscope. So in addition to the slats themselves, I've included a little frame. And the reason I have this frame in here is so that you can place the slots in when you're painting or decorating so that they're not moving all over the place. This will allow you to kind of paint a continuous image if you would like, or sort of just hold them in place while you stain them, dye them, tape paper over them, whatever you want to do. That's kind of what that's designed for. And these are also covered in masking, which is going to be really easy to peel off. So make sure you peel that off before you do any decorating. In addition to these, you're going to receive your image disc. This is what it looks like. I'll already have this glued in place for you. So all you need to do is fill it with everything you would like to fill it with, peel off the masking paper, and then either using the included super glue or a different glue of your choice, glue the image disc together, kind of clamp that together or put that under something so that it dries, and then your image disc is complete. So it's very simple. You just need to fill it and glue it closed, but make sure to remove the masking paper. For the end caps, I'm going to show you a couple little things here that are included. So let's move that out of the way. So you're also going to get this little bonus lens. And the lens is just used to magnify the design inside. It also prevents like dust from getting into the kaleidoscope. So what you would want to do is after decorating, so if you decorate this side, take your lens and glue that in place on this side. Then you're going to take your front end cap, glue that into place, and after decorating your slats here, I should say, you're going to place them all into these tabs. And if they don't fit perfectly tight, every piece of wood is a little bit different, so sometimes that happens. Just add a little bit of glue. It's going to make the kaleidoscope in general much stronger. So after you've placed in all of your different slats, they're all glued in place, they're ready to go, you got your front lens on, you're done with that side. You'll want to assemble your mirror system so that you can slide it into the kaleidoscope. So in order to do that, you're going to take your 3 mirrored pieces here, and then using either the included washi tape or your own tape of any kind, painter's tape, duct tape, you're not going to see it, so you can really use whatever tape you would like. You're going to tape them into a triangular configuration, and there's some additional videos on that in other parts of my blog, but it's very simple. You're just going to get them into a triangular shape. Now, one thing to note is it may be difficult to tell which is the front of the mirror and which is the back of the mirror. So the way to check for that is gently peel back a little corner and place an object against the mirror. If you see a gap between the reflection and the object, that's the wrong side. If when you place it against there and you kind of look at it at an angle, you see no gap, that's the correct side, and that's the side that you want facing inside your kaleidoscope. Both sides will work, but if you use the correct side of the mirror, you're going to have a much crisper image. This is front surface kaleidoscope mirror, so it's like a special ordered item. You want to make sure you have that facing the right direction. So there's our mirrors, and then once you've taped those together, you're going to have these little foam triangles, and all you have to do is slip them over your mirror system. You can tell I'm not paying attention to which side because these are also covered in masking. And you're going to slide that on, and that's going to hold your mirrors into the shape and also give them grip inside the body of the kaleidoscope. That way, when they're inside, they're going to hold their shape, they're not going to rattle around, and it just gives it a nice finished look from the end as well. So you receive 2 foam caps and 3 mirrors. If you would prefer to do a 2 mirror system, which gives you a different image, it looks like a mandala, then just request that in the purchase, and I will send you a 3rd side that is made of velvet mat board. And what that'll do is you just place that on the bottom, tape your mirror system like you were planning to anyway, and you'll have a mandala-like image. You can also cut that thinner if you'd like a more intense mandala, so you can adjust that as you would like. So that's an optional piece. Make sure to request that if that's what you would like to do. I will replace one of the mirrors instead with that item. Finally, the last thing you'll do after you've assembled your mirror system and placed it into the body of the kaleidoscope is you'll assemble your end piece. Now your end piece, you can see here you have a little protective lens. It's just clear acrylic that'll keep dust from getting inside. So you'll peel that, glue that in place, and then using the super glue or another really strong glue, you're going to glue this item in like that, and that's the inside part. So once you have that set in place, you're just going to attach that to the end of the kaleidoscope. If needed, depending on the length and the thickness of the image disc itself, I will include a spacer. You may not need that. It's just going to depend on how the thickness works out. I'll make sure to test it before I send it to you. So you can see this one does not need a spacer. And then once you attach your image disc on the very end, you simply screw this in place. And once you've done that, you're going to have a really nice rotating mechanism for the end of your kaleidoscope. So very easy to assemble. Really the only extra pieces you're going to need are enough items to fill this kaleidoscope, and then whatever you plan to decorate with. One thing I want to note is that if you need to clean the acrylic from fingerprints or smudges, do not use alcohol, Windex, or any regular household cleaners. Use a microfiber cloth and just water, or a dedicated acrylic cleaner like this. Now, I don't think you need to buy this if this is the only acrylic item you're ever going to need to clean, but it's worth noting that alcohol and Windex will actually haze the surface, and you don't really want to ruin the clarity of your image disc that way. So the final note on that is just make sure to be careful with that, and then also be very careful with the mirrors. Front surface mirror is a special ordered kaleidoscope mirror. So it scratches really, really easily. You don't want to remove the plastic until the last possible second, because if you try to rub this, even with a microfiber cloth, you can scratch the mirror surface. So be very delicate with this. Assemble it all at once at the last possible second. and try to avoid getting dust or fingerprints on the mirror itself. So hopefully that gives you kind of a picture of what's in the kit and how to assemble it. I hope you'll enjoy building your own kaleidoscope. If you have any questions, please let me know, or check the blog for additional videos on more details for like how to create an advanced oil-filled kaleidoscope or different materials for decorating.